The day is finally here where the PS5 Pro update for GT7 is out, and there's a lot to talk about today for PSVR2. There's brand new cars which we'll be covering in our Top Gear style like I have over the last video or two for GT7, and there's also the PS5 Pro enhancements. Before we jump in and talk about all this though, only 25% you are subscribed, so if you like PSVR2 or all VR related content, please, if you find yourself at home here, feel free to hit that sub button. Also, thank you to our patrons and YouTube members who bring this content to you. Anyway, let's go. As some of you may know from my PS5 Pro video, I didn't actually buy one of these, and to be honest, GT7 is the first game that's really induced any sort of FOMO in me. However, I have been in touch with quite a few people about their impressions of the game, and can accurately portray the enhancements you'll be getting on PS5 Pro with GT7. The main two are a lack of reprojection and a slightly increased resolution. Now on the resolution side of things, some people claim it's a big boost, some people have claimed it's a little boost. All that we know is that there is one, as Polyphony have said. What you're seeing right now is footage from Reddit user Zookeepergame609, who kindly let me use their footage here to show this off to you guys, as this is actual PS5 Pro GT7 footage. What this increased resolution does though, aside from looking a bit better, does make pop-in a bit more noticeable from what we can see. Spoilers do pop in a lot further away than they used to, it seems, but you can still see that pop in a little bit better now that the reprojection is gone and the resolution is boosted. Speaking of reprojection, that is the main improvement here. If you're on PS5 Pro and head into your settings for GT7, there is a setting called positional reprojection, I believe it's called. Now, the developer of Encircled, another PSVR2 game, has actually come out and said that this has existed for a while because they actually played around with it with their game. They said that it's better for smaller games to try and just hit a native 90 or 120 Hz, but for a game like GT7, which is quite beefy, it works really well here. Now, I'm not quite sure about the nitty-gritty of how this thing actually works, but it seems to be using some sort of interpolation. From these two screenshots from Reddit user Shallwe, you can see two side-by-sides through the lens. The first one that you're seeing right now is with this option on, which you can see everything is really crystal clear, there's no reprojection there, but in the second image you can see the reprojected sign that is now almost unreadable. In motion, when you're going really fast, sometimes this is completely fine, but some people are really affected by it. Personally, I do notice it, but it doesn't really throw me off too much, but that is a great improvement you can see there. There is a downside that seems to be coming with this though, and that is that with the PS5 Pro patch and using the PSVR2 with this option on, you will be getting some artifacts in faraway objects like trees and barriers and shadows, and also on some menu elements and your heads-up display. Personally, for me, if I had to choose between having normal reprojection or having a little bit of artifacting but a much smoother experience that doesn't really feel reprojected at all, I would be going for the non-reprojected with artifacts, because I think the smoothness of that experience would be amazing. But those are the benefits you are going to be getting on PS5 Pro. Now that we've gone through that, and thank you to the two Reddit users who have contributed content to this video, let's have a look at the new cars and content dropped in for the game. Kicking us off here is the 2020 Porsche 911 Turbo S. Now, over time, the 911 Turbo has been through a lot of changes, at least in how it feels. It's quite a smooth experience now, and this car definitely reflects that.
And the interior of this looks absolutely fantastic, I've got to say. Just exquisitely modelled and stock straight out of the gate with nothing adjusted. It feels wonderful. And you can be confident every time you jump into one that you're just going to have a good time.
With a 2.7 second 0 to 60 and at almost £173,000, you're getting quite a lot of comfort and fun in this package. It's a 911 through and through though, and to be honest, they're a load of fun on the track no matter where you take them. But some might argue that we've had too many of these in the game and that they should have prioritized other car models rather than adding another one of these. For me though, I always think they're wonderful to drive.
Welcome to Spa-Francorchamps, where we're testing this. Which is the Porsche Mission X 2023. And normally I'd say, well, I don't like VGT cars, I think they're all hideous. They don't really have a place in this game at certain points in time, but this isn't actually a VGT car, this is a real thing. This is something Porsche has come up with to essentially take the DNA from their Le Mans style vehicles and whack it into something that can lap the Nordschleife very, very quickly. And despite how hideous the not an engine sounds, I've got to be honest, it is very, very fast.
It takes the best parts of the cars of the past, or so they say, like the 959, the Carrera GT and the 918 Spider, and sets a new standard for the future. It's Porsche's vision of the fastest road-legal vehicle on the Nordschleife loop. With extreme downforce and a carbon exoskeleton, this thing is fast. The Suzuki Jimny Sierra JC 2018 is next up. With a 1500cc petrol engine and four-wheel drive, this is exactly like the smaller Jimny that we got a couple updates ago, but just biggified. It's a smooth ride, but not a very exciting one, but I feel like this one will grow on me like the old Jimny did.
I mean, we already had a Jimny, and while that is true, that was the K car variant, so if that was the smaller brother, this is the bigger brother. K cars are designed to be compact, lightweight, and this does away with all of that. You wouldn't really be able to tell from the interior too much because it is fairly similar, but we've got the bigger wheel arches, bigger engine, and bigger bumpers in here, and after a little while, and definitely after hopping back and forth between them, you can tell 100%. It's not exactly the most exciting car they've ever added, but I'm not gonna lie, I love the old Jimny, I've grown to love it, and I think I will probably have the same with this car. I had a lukewarm reaction to that car when it came out, and over time, it's just been a lot of fun in a lot of different race series, and I can see this one going a similar way, to be honest with you.
Penultimately, the Ford Escort RS Cosworth. The RS Cosworth came in the 5th generation of the Ford Escort. It was designed specifically to qualify as a Group A car for the World Rally Championship in 1993, with the road version being sold from 92 until 96. The Cosworth YBT powertrain was only fitted to this exact version of the Escort, and the Cosworth was the first mass production car to produce downforce at the front and the rear, and this thing is bloody fantastic.
I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. It's fantastic. It's just brilliant. It really is.
Finally, we have the Mercedes-Benz W 196 R1955. This thing is absolutely beautiful, and oh my, what the fuck? Oh no. Well, that'll do us. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have tried out the Mercedes, please let me know how it was, because frankly, fuck that. If you've tried out the game on PS5 Pro, let me know how you're finding it. Thank you all so much for watching once again, and I hope to see you all in the next video.